Hi there. Welcome to Unit Zero. In this unit, we're going to talk about the basics, very basics of sensation perception. Now, of course, this is the title of this course, Sensation and Perception. And I want you to think about sensation perception as the two basic processes that happen in your head. Think of the things that you cannot see that happen in your head as mental processes. Of those mental processes, the most basic ones are sensation perception. And in this unit, we're going to talk about the fundamental nature of these processes called sensation and perception. See, the learning objectives for this particular unit include these five objectives that are listed here. First, we'll talk about what perception is at a very general level and how is it different from perception and what is the purpose of perception. Now, if you think about perception in general, perception is our conscious experience of the external world. Let's say I show you an object and ask you, what is this? The moment you recognize it, right, that's the physical conscious experience. That conscious experience is perception. But whatever happened before that, which is not available to your conscious experience, part of it is sensation. Put in words, what perception is then? Perception is the experience that results from whatever is coming from the external object and reaching your sense organs. And whatever that comes from the external object reaches your sense organs, in this case, your eyes, is light. And you call that light stimulus. Now, same thing applies to other sense organs as well. If this is hearing, then the stimulus would be sound coming from some object, right? And your conscious experience of that stimulus is perception in general. If there is touch, right, coming from the external object, this pressure or temperature is the stimulus that you will experience consciously, and that conscious experience is perception. What is sensation then? Well, sensation technically is different from perception, but throughout this course, we will be using these terms interchangeably. I would consider sensation more as how delight that is reflected from the object that you are looking at enters your visual system and the changes it will go through before it gets perceived elsewhere. To make it clear, the place where it gets perceived is a conscious experience and it would be in your brain. The place where the information gets taken into your visual system would be your sense organs. So at that level, sensation is at the level of your sense organs and perception is at the level of your brain. One is not available to your consciousness, while the other one is available to your consciousness. So in that sense, you can think of perception as the experience resulting from your sense organs being stimulated by the external stimulus. Sensation as detecting those individual elementary properties of the stimulus in your sense organs. Properties related to light if it's vision, properties related to chemicals if it's taste or smell, properties related to touch, pressure, temperature if it is skin, and so on and so forth. Now, more technical definition of perception is it's not just the conscious experience of it, it is also interpreting the conscious experience of the stimulus as something, which is called recognition. So it's interpreting the light that is reflected from the object as at a higher level by your brain as, in this case, coffee mug. So perception is not only just the conscious experience of it, but also your interpretation of what that conscious experience means. So why perception? Or why sensation perception? Why do we need this? Well, we need this so we can move on. The way I would like to look at it is that let's say you're walking, right? And you're walking to school, and on campus, going from one class to another class, and your focus is to go to the class on time because you exam or something. When you're walking, you will encounter tens of hundreds of objects, right? This identification, this you actually go through the process of sensation perception, meaning that you take the information coming from all these objects visually and identify them and keep doing that so that you will take the next step. In other words, if just imagine you see a tiger on campus and you recognize something as a tiger, what do? You take an action to move away from it, run from it, right? But that's not what you encounter on a daily, day-to-day basis. What you encounter would be the regular objects that are not threatening. In other words, why perception is the reason for perception is so that once you recognize what you perceive, you take an appropriate action. action that would be to avoid it or to tackle with it. Whatever the action is, the decision you make, what to do with it, is an important aspect of perception. So, why perception? Perception is so you can recognize what it is for the survival state and also to take the action, a decision related to action or inaction.